LeBoutelier. I'm here with Martin Hinton, the senior producer of Political Insiders. Our regular other panelists, Pat Goodell and Doug Schoen, are not available today, but Martin is our senior producer and really the fourth Beatle of this group, Martin.
The unseen Beatle. The fifth Beatle, even.
All right, so Iraq is in the news. Sounds amazingly similar to a previous administration. We have a Secretary of State in Baghdad. We have a president commenting on the governmental structure of Iraq. We have a mess on the ground. We have people in the U.S. government saying we got to remove the prime minister of Iraq and replace him. Has anything changed?
Not since the War of 1812. You think about I'm a huge history fan, and you know this, and I think about America's own struggle for democracy and independence, and we fought a war several decades after
the Revolutionary War
against the same country.
A redo
with
the same result, except they burned the White House down.
Yeah, they did, but Dolly Madison got plenty out, so God bless Dolly. People expect immediate results. I was talking to my brother over the weekend. He goes, well, what's the right thing to do? And I said to you last night on the phone call before the 7:30 show with Harris Faulkner, I don't think there's ever right answers in foreign policy. There's just what you can do today based on what you know today, and you have to be willing to let that plan adjust when it makes contact with the enemy, which all plans are affected by. And, if you operate in good faith with some sort of clear goal and you navigate the serpentine path to that goal, that seems like the best foreign policy you could get these days. I'm not sure what you could hope to happen over there. Nobody is going to send troops in from the U.S. political point of view. There's no political will for that. Even 300 advisors. While in the case of, as we know, the Eastern Offensive in Vietnam, one well-placed advisor can do a lot to stop a very powerful enemy. In the case of a man named John Ripley, a Marine Corps colonel. It's... All right, people are worn out, I think.
Worn out. So on that note, let's please put up our poll number 1, which comes from last week's Wall Street Journal, NBC News poll. Now, this is a very crucial question. Can the president lead and get the job done? And 54%, a healthy majority, say he now cannot lead, he cannot get the job done. 42% say he can, which is basically the Democratic base vote. But 54% tells us he's a lame duck president. That's how he's now perceived, not only up on Capitol Hill, but in Moscow, in Tehran, in Cairo, in Tel Aviv, in Riyadh. They look at Barack Obama as finito.
Yeah,
he can't do it.
And I think that in a broader way, in some places, that's spreads to America generally. Like, what can America do for us here in Europe or here in Africa or in the Middle East?
What can Obama do for us?
Well, he is the American president, right? And he's lame duck now, maybe based on that poll. If the Senate goes to the GOP in these elections in November, you're talking about 2 years where, if you thought nothing had happened for the last 2 years, you can believe that there is, they're going to take the one day, they may as well not come to work.
All right, now, I'm thinking back on the previous administration, George W. Bush. 2000, he's elected maybe in the Electoral College, not in the popular vote. So he's really not a majority president when he gets in. He barely scrapes by in 2004 against John Kerry. He was viewed by the public by this point in his presidency, same numbers, not able to lead, a lame duck. But Obama had a huge majority in the Electoral College and the popular vote, both in 2008 and 2012. He has frittered that thing away.
Yeah.
Twice, really. And of course, the media doesn't talk about it. We did have...
do you think there's an element of his... It's no surprise what we're getting now. But he campaigned on getting out of the war. His critics will call him an anti-war president. He wanted to bring everyone home and end America's war in Iraq.
Right.
There was no ending of the war in Iraq. Let's just be clear about that.
It was rending America's role in the war.
Everyone talks about LBJ sacrificing foreign policy for domestic issues. Do you think that's what's happened here? A conscious decision to try and consolidate what political will you have, what political clout you have to get the Affordable Care Act passed, minimum wage hike, these issues with income inequality, and the sort of domestic sort of imbalance of wealth and that sort of thing here?
I think it's part of it. I think Iraq was an abomination to the left. The real left, which he comes from, never wanted any part of this thing. And by the way, I'm on the right, and I never wanted any part of it either. There's a lot of people on both ends of the spectrum who didn't understand a preemptive invasion against a country that didn't attack us. Yeah. Okay, it happened. Obama ran on getting us out. He got us out. He got reelected after that. Where he's run into trouble, Martin, is inconsistent policy. I'm not there anymore, but now we're going back in. I'm going to take us out of Afghanistan, but first I'm going to surge and put more troops in Afghanistan. Then we're going to get out. I'm going to close Guantanamo, but I'm not closing Guantanamo. I mean, it's odd.
Does it mirror a little bit the late Clinton president's second term, where there was obviously the Battle of Mogadishu and some cruise missile strikes in Afghanistan and Western Africa when those embassies were bombed? There is some sort of, you're dipping your toe in the shallow end, and it just doesn't have any impact. We're dealing with a committed enemy, right?
Right. Fundamentalist Islam. Yeah. I look at the arc of the Clinton presidency different than Obama. Obama started way up here and, as we said, has frittered it away. Clinton started not that great. He got 42% of the vote in 1992. He got slapped silly in 94 when he lost the House and the Senate, Hillary Care and all that. And then he moved to the middle and he went up. And the rest of his presidency was a centrist consensus presidency where he worked with the Republicans. On competency, he passes this test way better than Obama or Bush did. We didn't put up, but we should, that in the Wall Street Journal poll, they asked this question: is the Obama administration competent or incompetent? And the answer was 50% competent, 50% incompetent. George W. Bush, Martin, after Hurricane Katrina, was still 53% competent, 47% incompetent.
In the same poll.
Same poll, Wall Street Journal. So this president has really, the perception of him has changed a lot. Okay, we're going to do more on this in weeks to come because it does affect the Senate races this November. For Martin Hinton and Pat and Doug, I'm John LeBoutillier. Political Insiders will be with you Sunday night, 7:30 with Harris Faulkner on the Fox News Channel.